They said he was a failure. They said, "He'll never make it, he's not smart enough." And for a long time, he believed them, until one day, something inside him whispered, "What if they're wrong?" This is the story of Ryan, a boy everyone gave up on, except his own heart. Ryan grew up in a small city where success was measured by grades and titles. If you didn't get top marks, people called you lazy. If you didn't land a good job, they called you useless. And Ryan, well, he was the kind of kid teachers often shook their heads at. He wasn't bad, just different. While others memorized answers, Ryan asked why. While others solved equations, he'd draw patterns in the margins of his notebook. He loved building things. Paper boats, cardboard bridges, little gadgets from scrap, but no one saw that as talent, they saw it as distraction. By the time he reached high school, his report cards were filled with red marks. His father stopped talking about his future. His mother silently cried at night. One evening, after another failed test, his teacher said coldly, "Ryan, some people just aren't meant to succeed." Those words cut deep. He laughed in front of others, but that night, he sat alone in his room, staring at the wall, thinking, maybe they're right, maybe I'm just not enough. Life didn't make it any easier. After school, Ryan started working at a small repair shop to help his family. He fixed fans, radios, and phones. Quietly, skillfully, but without recognition. Every evening, he'd see students in uniforms walking home with laughter, while he wiped grease off his hands, thinking of the dreams he once had. Sometimes he'd catch his reflection in a shop mirror. Tired eyes, dusty clothes, and he'd whisper, "Is this all I'm meant for?" But his heart, it didn't give up. It kept reminding him of how it felt when he built something with his own hands. How alive he felt when things started working again. So at night, when everyone slept, Ryan would stay up, tinkering with old parts. He watched free online videos on his cracked phone, learning circuits and machines. He had no mentor, no fancy tools, just stubborn belief and a burning heart. One night, his mother walked in quietly and saw him still awake. She said softly, "Ryan, why do you work so hard when the world doesn't even see you?" He smiled and replied, "Because, Amy, I don't need them to see me, I just need to see myself trying." Those words, they became his strength. Months turned into years. Ryan kept learning, experimenting, failing, and learning again. One day, his city announced a small innovation competition. Build something that helps your community. Ryan wanted to participate, but he hesitated. The old voices returned. "You're not good enough. You'll embarrass yourself again." But this time, his heart spoke louder. "Try once, just once." He spent nights working on an idea. A low-cost water filter made from recycled materials, something every poor family in his town could use. He worked with broken buckets, charcoal, and leftover pipes from the repair shop. It wasn't pretty, but it worked. On the day of the competition, others came with polished models and presentations. Ryan arrived in his old shirt, carrying his handmade filter wrapped in cloth. When his turn came, he stood on stage, nervous, voice shaking, and said, "I know this doesn't look perfect, but it cleans water for just 20 rupees. People laughed at first, but when the judges tested it, the water came out clean. The room fell silent. Then, applause. Ryan's name was announced as the winner. For the first time in his life, he saw pride in his parents' eyes. Tears rolled down his mother's face as she whispered, "I always knew you could." But Ryan just smiled quietly, because deep down, he knew it wasn't the world that saved him, it was his own heart that refused to stop beating for his dreams. Years later, Ryan became a mechanical designer, creating affordable tools for farmers and small workers. He never chased fame, only purpose. Whenever people asked how he made it, he'd say, "I just kept listening to the only voice that mattered, the one inside." His story became a reminder that sometimes no one will believe in you, not your friends, not your family, not even life itself. But if your heart still whispers try again, that's all the proof you need, because belief doesn't start from the outside, it starts from within. So if you're listening right now and you feel like everyone's given up on you, pause, take a deep breath, and listen to your heart. It's still beating for a reason, and maybe, just maybe, that reason is your next beginning. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales that remind you that even when the world stops believing, your heart never does. Tell me in the comments, what's one dream your heart still believes in?